to your Superman news video for the week October 10th to October 16th, 2014. Our top news stories in this week's Speeding Bulletin include Warner Brothers confirms its slate of superhero films through 2020, filming for Batman v Superman is headed to New Mexico, and Superman will appear in the Cartoon Network one-shot animated movie titled Lego DC Comics Batman Be-Leaguered. Let's find out more about these stories and others in this week's Speeding Bulletin. In movie news, Warner Brothers chairman and CEO Kevin Chizihara outlined an aggressive content strategy for the studio, which included a massive expansion of the studio's DC Entertainment branded content. Warner Brothers Pictures and New Line Cinema will release a slate of at least 10 movies, as well as standalone Batman and Superman films from 2016 through to 2020 that expands this prized universe of characters. Films include Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice in 2016, Suicide Squad in 2016, Wonder Woman starring Gal Gadot in 2017, Justice League Part 1 directed by Zack Snyder with Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill and Amy Adams reprising their roles in 2017, The Flash starring Ezra Miller in 2018, Aquaman starring Jason Momoa in 2018, Shazam in 2019, Justice League Part 2 in 2019, Cyborg starring Ray Fisher in 2020, and Green Lantern also in 2020. Filming for Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice is taking place now in East Lansing in Detroit, Michigan, with road closures in place around the Broad Art Museum. Michigan State University posted online that the Broad and Circle Drive from Collingwood Drive to just west of the Broad are closed at the moment for filming purposes. Word is that the museum may be doubling as Lex Luthor's home, with a high society dinner party supposedly the setting for filming taking place at that location. Reports are that Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill were spotted on location, with bar staff, waiters, reporters and Luthor's white limousine all photographed in and around the unique building. Once they're finished in East Lansing, the film's production will head to New Mexico. Sets are being built for the movie in southwestern New Mexico near Deming. KOAT-7 TV in Albuquerque sent their news helicopter to the desert outside Deming, where they captured images of an enormous construction taking place for the film. There's some speculation that the fortress-like structure may have something to do with Wonder Woman's home of Themyscira. Reports are that filming is slated to start there in November. In a video interview for Stephen Galloway's The Hollywood Masters series, Charles Roven, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice producer, spoke at length about casting Ben Affleck in the role of Batman, which included the fact that he's taller than Henry Cavill.
Ben is 6'4".
Is he?
Yeah, he's 6'3" or 6'4". Henry's 6 or 6'1". We wanted Batman to tower over Superman. Not hugely, not like a basketball, not like a 7-foot player, but where Superman needed to look up to Batman. We wanted that dynamic, and Ben could do that easily.
Those comments sure created a bit of a stir on the Superman homepage. Latino Reviews' El Maimbe has posted a rumour claiming that Brainiac is the main villain of the Justice League movie, which is set to follow on after Batman v Superman. He claimed that Brainiac will make his way to Earth, alerted to Kal-El's location by the same beacon that caught Zod's attention in Man of Steel. Warner Home Video released the cover artwork for the Blu-ray and DVD editions of Justice League Throne of Atlantis, the new DC animated original movie which follows on from Justice League War. You can pre-order Justice League Throne of Atlantis on Blu-ray and or DVD from the Superman homepage online store. Matthew Reeve, the 34-year-old son of the late Christopher Reeve, attended New York Comic Con this past weekend, where he participated in a Q&A panel to reminisce about his late father and revealed the Big Idea campaign, which has introduced a device that has dramatically changed the lives of 4 injured individuals through epidural stimulation. The device has helped these men to recover voluntary movements with their legs and even stand, according to the organisation's website. He said Superman was the original superhero and Dad did such a fantastic job in his performance that for a lot of people he just personified the role so strongly that it almost be impossible to disassociate. He's still to this day, which is a source of pride. In TV news, IGN.com caught up with Laura Vandervoort at New York Comic Con for a video interview where they asked her about her reaction to the news about a new live-action Supergirl TV series. Here's what she had to say.
Yeah,
I saw a lot of Twitter comments when that was happening that people wanted me to play Supergirl, and I don't know what their plan is for it, but I wish them well, and maybe I can show up on it at some point.
Well, Smallville always had fun with that, with like
we
past
brought back
incarnations.
Yeah, we had Christopher Reeves and
Yeah.
other characters coming back, so maybe they'll have me come in as a villain or something, which would be fun.
I think
Cartoon Network released details on the upcoming one-shot animated movie titled Lego DC Comics Batman Be-Leaguered, which is a special that will tie into the upcoming Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham video game. Batman prides himself on being a loner, a totally self-sufficient one-man band. Just ask anyone, Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, Alfred, anyone. So he's understandably irritated when his nightly cleanup of Gotham City villains is interrupted by Superman, who pesters Batman to join his new superhero team, the Justice League. After Batman makes it quite clear to the Man of Steel that his invitation has been declined, Superman flies off disappointed, whereupon he is overcome with a strange energy and vanishes. Lego DC Comics Batman Be-Leaguered is scheduled to air on Cartoon Network on Monday, October 27th at 6 p.m. In comic book news, DC Comics hosted a number of panels at last weekend's New York Comic Con. The DC Comics New 52 panel revealed that in Action Comics number 35, due out October 22nd, a new story from Greg Pak and Aaron Kuder will be titled Horrorville. Creepy things are afoot in Smallville, and it might be something that might be even hard for Superman to fight, Pak said. It will hit him at many angles in true horror fashion. Visit our website for the full details on this panel. Newsarama.com sat down for a chat with comic book writer Scott Snyder for an in-depth interview in which, amongst other things, he spoke about how Superman Unchained will end exactly how he always planned it to, and that he couldn't be prouder of how the story turned out. He said, Superman to me is inspiring and wonderful because he isn't a straight beam of light that's always right. Writer Brian Q. Miller confirmed via Twitter that the Smallville Season 11 comic book series will be ending with the conclusion of the current 12-part continuity story. He said the end was not sudden, was in no way contentious, and was not a surprise from the creative side in the least. This was planned, and I blessedly had more than enough time to end things the way I'd always intended. Smallville Season 11, which enjoyed a run of 14 stories equaling 125 digital issues or 40 print issues, will end its run with the conclusion of the current continuity story. J. Michael Straczynski participated in an interview with PreviewsWorld.com to discuss the upcoming third volume in the Superman Earth 1 graphic novel series. The writer explains the choices lined up for the Man of Steel and how this latest installment is emotional and with a lot of personal resonance. He said Volume 3 is written in such a way that it can be read mostly independent from the first two books, in that you don't need to have read them to follow this story, though it adds a lot of dimension and background if you have read them. Believe it or not, the Superman homepage Ask Eddie fan forum has been updated again. Eddie Berganza, DC Comics editor of the Superman comic books, answers your questions about the Superman comic books. Come by the site now to see what he had to say. Comic books we reviewed this past week included Superman Wonder Woman number 12, which was reviewed by Michael Bailey, who said it made me feel good about Superman and Wonder Woman as a couple, and it was really entertaining, and he rated this a 5 out of 5. Adam DeChannel reviewed Smallville Continuity Chapter 7, giving it a 5 out of 5, saying, like a good cake, there are several layers built into the chapter. And from last week, Batman Superman number 14 was reviewed by Alyssa Gossage, who said, I'm interested to see what happens when Batman and Superman finally confront each other, and she gave this issue a 3 out of 5. Superman comics available this week from October 15th include Injustice Year 3 Chapter 3 digital comic has been available since October 14th. Batman Superman number 15, which is available in a monster variant cover, a digital combo pack, and another variant cover. Earth 2 World's End number 2, Infinite Crisis Fight for the Multiverse number 4 print edition, Justice League number 35, which is available in a monster variant cover, a digital combo pack, and another variant cover, New 52 Future's End number 24, Supergirl number 35, Smallville Continuity Chapter 8 digital comic will be available October 17th, Infinite Crisis Chapter 23 digital comic will be available October 19th, Adventures of Superman Volume 2 trade paperback, and Justice League 3000 Volume 1 Yesterday Lives trade paperback. If If you absolutely have to get caught out in the rain, then why not do it in style with these great Superman wet weather items? Get yourself a blue Superman umbrella for $12.53. Or how about this flying Superman red umbrella for just $7.14? These and other great wet weather Superman items are available from your one-stop Superman shop, the Superman homepage online store at supermanhomepage.com/shop. And in other news, Warner Bros. Unveiled a new behind-the-scenes video looking at the voice actors involved in LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, which includes Conan O'Brien, Stephen Amell and Kevin Smith.
We started off by going, right, we've got this great video cast, but who else could we include? So that got us thinking about characters like Stephen Amell. And we ended up including people like Kevin Smith, because he's kind of like massive into his comic books.
When I was asked to be involved in the game, they said, do you want to know what it's about? And I said, is it Lego? They said, yeah. So Batman's in it? I said, yeah. I said, do I have to act? They said, you have to play you. I said, I'm in. I'll do anything you want, including dirty stuff. They said it's a family game that wouldn't be needed.
And that's all the Superman news there was for the week October 10th to October 16th. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone, and welcome to a fabulous Batman vs. Superman edition of Great Scott. I'm Scotty V, and thanks for watching. So, Charles Roven has come out this week and said something sure to set Superman fans on edge, and that is that Superman needed to look up to Batman. Isn't that a great sentiment? I read this, and I was angered, and I'm sure other Superman fans are angered. And I know that this is one of those things where Bill Shatner would have a great time going, hey, get a life. This is a costumed character we're talking about, a fake comic book thing. You know, you're talking about a movie. Get a life. And what I mean by that is, maybe I shouldn't be upset by it, but I am. You know, it's kind of my job to point out some of these things, to give a little rant on some of these things, and sometimes I'm in a good mood. This time, not so much. Roven was one of the producers on Man of Steel and on the Dark Knight trilogy, and I'm sure on lots of other movies. He's one of the WB's golden boys, I guess. I saw him on some of the behind-the-scenes features on Man of Steel, and I don't know, he didn't seem particularly happy to be working on it. I'm not, maybe that's just his personality. But could that mean he doesn't really like Superman and he just happened to be producing? And of course he did The Dark Knight. And maybe he's still in the mindset that there's some way this can connect, that maybe the Christian Bale Batman was the younger Batman, the one who, before he retired at the end of The Dark Knight Rises, is the same guy who then turns into Ben Affleck in this movie, even though they don't look alike in any way, shape, or form. But the comment came out of the fact that Ben Affleck is 6'4", Henry Cavill is 6'1", and I guess people had asked him how they went about casting Ben Affleck, and the fact that he's such a controversial choice, and that it was sure to cause controversy in the fan community. And one of his reasonings was, well, I mean, he said what we've heard a bunch of times already, and that is, we wanted a grizzled Dark Knight. We wanted a guy who could clearly be an experienced crime fighter, a guy who'd been doing this for years and who had gotten a bit jaded and had given up on it and had gone his own way or whatever. And now, of course, he's going to come back in some capacity. But he then said, we also purposely wanted to find someone of Ben Affleck's height. Now, I don't know if this is a statement that he's making after working on the film or after being involved and hearing about the story and after Ben's already been cast and after, I guess, some people made mention that in the Comic-Con pictures it looks like Ben Affleck is towering over everybody, including our Man of Steel, Henry Cavill. Or if this really was something that they thought of at the beginning, hey, we got to get an actor who's really tall. I don't believe that would be the case, and that I only say that because in Hollywood they can make anything. They can move the cameras, they can film in such a way so that everyone's the same height. They can film in such a way so somebody looks huge when other people look not so huge. So if they cast somebody who was 6'1", or 6'2", or 5'9", or 5'10", and they wanted him to look more massive than Henry, and they wanted him to look taller than Henry, and they wanted him to be imposing to a being that could stop an entire onslaught of Kryptonian soldiers and save the entire planet, then they could do that with camera work. But the statement is what's bothering me, not necessarily when he came up with it or when they really meant it or if it really happened to happen during casting or if he's just saying it now. It doesn't matter. What matters now to me is that Roven and I guess other producers involved, now luckily he's not directly involved with writing the story, but I'm sure producers have some say and I'm sure that they have some idea of the way that the story is meant to be going. He has the idea that Superman should look up to Batman. Now, does that mean that he thinks he should look up to him like a kid looking at someone taller, or does that mean that he should look up to him like a kid looking at someone that is better than him, or that he thinks is better than him, or that he admires? There's a couple of things in both of those ideas that could be attributable to the relationship between Superman and Batman. Not that he looks up to him, but they've always had kind of a mutual understanding of respect after getting to know each other and after whatever altercations take place, a la Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice we might see happen, where they initially don't agree or they conflict in some way or another, but then they realize they're on the same team and eventually become friends. Depending on the Batman version, sometimes he's a real jerk and he doesn't want any friends and he doesn't believe in working together and he doesn't think he needs any help. Other times he kind of believes all that stuff but cooperates with people anyway. And then other times he realizes that the world needs a Superman and needs a Justice League and that he can't do everything because he's a guy in a batsuit. That's the Batman I like because it makes sense. He's supposed to be real smart. He's supposed to understand these things. And there'd be no way that this man would think he could take on Superman or take him down or that he'd be better than him. And Superman also doesn't believe himself to be better than people. I think that they respect each other mutually. But if we're going to get a Miyagi Danielson situation here where Superman is the Karate Kid and Batman is Mr. Miyagi, this is completely wrong from anything we've ever seen between the relationship of Superman and Batman. And I'm sure a lot of times these movies take their own way and come up with their own angle of looking at things, but it would be kind of odd, I think, and again insulting to the character of Superman to have him looking up to Batman in that way and actually making that a story pointer, that it's important that he's taller. I guess symbolically, if what you're going for is that everyone looks up to Batman because he's awesome, and Superman made so many mistakes in Man of Steel, even though I don't really think he made as many as people are talking about. I think he did what he had to do and what had to be done, and if it were Batman handling the situation, we'd all be dead. Not because Batman can't handle situations, but because that situation was not something that Batman would have been able to take care of. But anyway, I don't like the statement. I'm sure other people will say what they say about it. And I really hope it doesn't come into play so much that he's looking up to Batman like, oh, wow, I can't believe what this guy is and what he could do. And people are supposed to look up to Superman. Not that you can't be inspired by Batman's idea and not that he can't be a great hero himself. But Superman was the first. Superman's supposed to inspire the others. And what we had heard before was this is a universe where Superman is the first one to be seen, the first one to be known, and now we're getting more and more information about him looking up to other people who have been around much longer than him, and it's just getting disheartening as time goes on. But I'm not sure how it'll play out. I don't like that that's where his mindset is. Luckily, as I said, he's not probably heavily into making story decisions. But thanks everybody for watching, and remember, if you ever need to find me, all you have to do is look up. Ba 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 da 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 ba da ba da da ba ya da da bla ba ba ba.